After finishing college, Annika was full of dreams. But like many others, her first steps into the real world weren't easy. She sent resumes, waited for calls, and watched her friends move ahead while she faced rejection after rejection. 2 long months later, her phone rang. She'd finally got a job. It wasn't grand, but it was hers. With her first salary, she wanted to thank the one person who never stopped believing in her mother. Her mother loved antique things, anything that carried history and stories. So one Saturday, Annika walked into an old antique shop tucked between 2 modern cafes. Among dusty clocks and faded paintings, she saw it. A tall, ornate mirror with silver carvings curling along its frame. It shimmered faintly under the shop lights. Something about it drew her in. She ran her fingers along the frame. The shopkeeper smiled strangely. "Shopkeeper, it's a powerful piece, miss. Belonged to an old family from this very town." Annika smiled, bought it, and brought it home. She couldn't have known. The mirror once belonged to her great-grandmother, and destiny had just brought it back to its rightful place. The mirror fit perfectly in their living room. At first, it was just another piece of decor, but within days, odd things began. Sometimes Annika caught a flicker, a shadow behind her reflection. Other times, the reflection seemed to move a second too late, like it had a life of its own. She brushed it off as exhaustion. Then the dreams began. Each night, she saw flashes of another life. Narrow streets, rain-soaked alleys, her own face but hardened, desperate. She would wake up sweating, heart pounding. One night, she stood before the mirror and whispered, "Annika, what are you trying to show me?" The mirror shimmered. Its surface rippled like water. And then, it showed her. She saw herself, not as Annika, but as a young woman in torn clothes, sneaking through a sleeping town. In her hands, a dagger. She was part of a small gang of thieves, driven by hunger and poverty. That night, they chose a wealthy merchant's house. She slipped inside quietly, but fate had other plans. The merchant woke. He shouted, grabbed her wrist. There was panic, a struggle, and then a cry. The dagger slipped. She knelt beside him as his blood spread across the floor. His eyes, full of shock and pain, met hers. That moment burned itself into her soul. The mirror showed her everything. The wife crying over the body, the 2 children staring in disbelief. The fire that broke out in the chaos, consuming half the home. Annika collapsed before the mirror, trembling. "Annika, no, that can't be me." But she knew. Somewhere deep inside, it felt true. The next day, Annika sat with her mother, still shaken. Her mother mentioned something that made her freeze. "Mother, you know, your great-grandmother once owned a mirror just like this. People said it showed the truth of one's soul." That confirmed it. The mirror had come back to her, to help her face what she had once done. She sought help from a Zen teacher she'd heard about. Karma is not punishment, child. It is the echo of what you once created. The mirror shows your past so that you can live your present with awareness. Heal what remains unfinished. Those words settled into her heart. Annika decided she wouldn't run from her past. She would balance it. The mirror had shown her the merchant's house, a distinct symbol carved on its door. After days of searching, she found it. Now, an old, crumbling home at the edge of the city. Inside lived a small family, the merchant's descendants, a widow named Kavita and her 2 children. Life hadn't been kind to them. The business had failed. The children were struggling in school. Annika introduced herself as a social worker. She started visiting often, helping the children with their studies, supporting them financially. Each kind act seemed to lighten the mirror's reflection. The shadows that once lingered around her image began to fade. One night, as she looked into it again, she saw the merchant's spirit standing behind her, peaceful, no longer accusing. He nodded once and disappeared. Annika's tears fell freely. Months passed. The mirror, once cold and eerie, now reflected warmth and calm. Annika realized that the universe had never punished her. It had guided her. It had brought her the chance to rewrite her energy through awareness and compassion. She learned to meditate, to live consciously, to treat every person with kindness. Her career flourished, her health improved, and for the first time, she felt free. Her mother smiled as she poured tea. "Mother, that mirror suits you, Anika. It feels alive." Annika, smiling, "It reminds me who I was and who I choose to be." The mirror that once reflected darkness now reflected peace. Annika had faced the worst of her past and turned it into light.